even get to cross.
What's going on, everybody? Jolt here from TheTokenMinorities, and I am back with my Week 3 battle from the GBA D League. This week we are against the Donphanatic Jack and his Norwich Skitty. Make sure to check him out if you don't already know who he is. He will be linked in the description below. He's commissioner of the Pokemon Premier League, another league that I have played in for one season at least, and hopefully will be returning for the next season as well. So definitely a cool guy, and also a solid content creator as well, so make sure to give him a look. But it's definitely going to be a fun match this week. He did toss us that L last time we played him in the PPL, so we're looking to get a little bit of revenge here in this week of the D League. But before I go any further, once again, wanted to give a shout out to my front office for the help on the team. Got probably more help on this team than I have on my previous two, quite honestly. So yeah, big shout out to the FO for helping on that. They are linked in the description below. Also, thanks to everyone who helped make this video possible in terms of the graphics, background music, and of course, Jenning my team. All of them are linked in the description below as well. Now, let's take a look at this matchup here. As my opponent Jack decided to bring the Staraptor, Registeel, Crocodile, Skuntank, Latias, and the Mega Lopunny. He left some pretty crucial mons on the bench, including the Volcarona especially. Not seeing the Volcarona I thought was very surprising, and I also, quite frankly, am relieved to not see the Floatzel on his team, as that was a Pokemon that, while low tier, actually could have put in a lot of work against my team. But the team I brought here consists of the Tornadus T, Scolipede, Nidoqueen, Diancie, Mew, and the Mega Kangaskhan. If you want the full details of what this team is, the EV spreads, the movesets, all of that, make sure to take a look at the Teambuilder. That will be linked on the first line of the description below. I go into a lot of detail on my team compositions there, but just for a very brief overview so that you have somewhat of an idea of what we're working with in case you haven't seen the Teambuilder. It is a Stallbreaker Tornti with Taunt and U-Turn, and then I believe Hurricane and Heat Wave. I have a Scolipede, which is Protect, Life Orb with 3 attacks. Pretty much perfect coverage for the team that he brought here. I have the Nidoqueen, which is a Life Orb breaker set with Sucker Punch, just in case he brings some speed boosting options, which are otherwise pretty annoying for my team to deal with, so Sucker Punch helps keep those in check. I have the Diancie, which is Shook and Berry, my Stealth Rocker with Dual Stab and Toxic to help me beat a Latias 1v1. I have a Mew, which is also a Stall Breaker. I kind of built this around a Stall Breaker core of the Tornti and Mew. The Mew is a Stall Breaker with Taunt, Rock Tomb, Super Fang, and Roost, which is Rocky Helmet, to also allow me to deal with the Mega Lopunny as well as possible. And then the Mega Kangaskhan is a fat tank set with Wish, Protect, Fire Punch, and Return. The team itself matches up very well against what he brought. I'm so happy he didn't bring the Floatzel. I can't even describe how happy I was he did not bring the Floatzel, because that was arguably the biggest threat possible against this particular group of 6 Pokemon that I brought here in this matchup. So let's go ahead and take a look at the potential lead matchup here. Looking across his roster, I think the most likely lead for him is either the Mega Lopunny or the Staraptor. Due to the EV investment on my Tornadus T, it's actually perfectly designed to be able to lead off safely against either of those and not have to fear being OHKO'd by any move that either of those could go for. The only exception being a Choice Bandit Staraptor, but then my Tornti would outspeed that Staraptor and probably force him out, because I don't think he would want to risk his Staraptor on turn 1 versus a potential Life Orb Tornadus T. So Tornadus T is easily the best possible lead here in this matchup, and let's go ahead and jump right on into this battle, as my man Jack is going to issue that challenge, as we are going to lead off with the Tornti here in just a second, and he is going to choose to lead off with the Staraptor. So what I am free to do here on turn 1 is just click Hurricane, as the game is kind of catching up here. I'm a little bit ahead of myself here, but regardless, I am free to click that Hurricane on turn 1, because if he is Choice Scarfed, he stays in. He cannot kill me with the Brave Bird. Combination of the Hurricane from my Skyplate boosted attack power, or special attack power, in this case, plus the recoil from his Brave Bird will be able to take him out if he decides to stay in, but he does reveal to be Choice Scarf, going for a U-turn before I go for my Hurricane. That is good information to have later in the game, as that means my Diancie will be able to more effectively wall it when needed. So here he goes straight into the Skuntank, revealing that he's definitely a very bulky Skuntank, probably has some special defense investment as well. After the Hurricane doing about 35% or so, I'm just going to U-turn right on out, because that allows me to chip him down as he reveals the Pursuit, and actually does a fair amount of damage, so this might also have some offensive investment on this Skuntank as well. But I decided to go straight into my Mega Kangaskhan because I want to see what his switch-in is. I know his team is very weak against Mega Kangaskhan. If he happens to have Rocky Helmet Registeel, that that means my Scolipede will have a much easier time winning late game. If he happens to have Rocky Helmet Latias, that is important information to know as well. Otherwise, I don't see anything on his team being able to really wall out this Kangaskhan, and judging by the fact that he's going to sack off this Skuntank here to a return, that tells me Mega Kangaskhan definitely is going to be a massive threat in this game. He probably doesn't have a great switch into it, but Mega Kang picking up that first kill of the season, finally getting that one off my chest, so the Mega Kang is now 1-1 on the season for now. We'll see if we can pile up more KOs here later in the game, as he's going to force me out with the Mega Lopunny. I could have gone for a Protect here on this turn just to scout out the high jump kick, but I thought it was in my best interest to actually go into the Mew first instead, just in case he's something wild like the Cosmic Power Baton Pass Mega Lopunny, as that would ensure I'd be able to deal with either this Mega Lop before Baton passes, or be able to effectively deal with whatever he decides to switch into the Mew, since the Mew is able to pretty well deal with the vast majority of his team no matter what. So here he is going to prog my Rocky Helmet by going for a return, which is nice. 16% is always nice versus the Mega Lopunny, as I'm going to just go for a Roost just to scout out if he wants to try to stay in, maybe try to Toxic me or something. I just felt like Roost was overall my safest play, as when Mew is at full health, it can also deal effectively with even the Crocodile, but also the Staraptor and the Mega Lopunny later on. So here he goes into his Registeel. That's not going to do anything because I do have the taunt. The Stall Breaker Mew really coming in clutch here as the Registeel tries to get up those Stealth Rocks. Not going to happen in front of Mew's face, as I'm free to go for a very free Super Fang. Get 50% on anything on his team. He decides to let me get 50% on the Registeel plus the Rocky Helmet damage, as he goes for a bit of a Desperation Seismic Toss here in the Mew's face. So he is very weakened now at this point. I expect him to switch out on this turn, most likely into his Crocodile, but regardless, my best play is to just go for another Super Fang just to get 50% off whatever his potential switch in might be. I knew he was not going to stay in with the Registeel, especially because it's not leftovers, it's not Rocky Helmet. That means it is either Sugar Berry or Chopple Berry for the Scolipede. So here he goes into the Crocodile, takes 50% from the Super Fang, and he pursues me on the way out, which does kind of suck for my Mew, but in a sense, it doesn't suck too much in the grand scheme of things, because that Rocky Helmet damage actually means he might be in range of my Tornadus T's U-turn, and that's exactly what I ended up going into on that turn, just in case he even went for a knockoff, as due to my bulk investment on the Torntia, could have taken the knockoff even if it was adamant max attack. So here, I'm going to force him out with the U-turn, just click U-turn on the incoming Registeel, and this basically, now that I know for a fact he is not Rocky Helmet, means that I can go straight into my Mega Kangaskhan once again and see if we can get it one more kill here in this game at least. If we are going to go into the Mega Kang, we're going to pop that Fire Punch button, and we're going to pop that Registeel right in the face, and it will go down here with only one hit. So Baby Kang honestly hasn't even been needed yet here in this particular game for these 2 kills that Mega Kangaskhan has gotten so far. But yeah, that's pretty awesome for sure. Now he's going to go into his Mega Lopunny to force me out. Here I do expect him to go for the high jump kick if he has it, so I'm going to go for the Protect, just in case maybe I can get a free 50% damage off on this Mega Lop as he goes for the Drain Punch. So nice prep there on his part there. That was probably, you know, it was pretty telegraphed, I guess, that I was going to be Protect on the Mega Kang in this matchup, just in case he had high jump kick, but very good prep on his part there. Now I'm going to go straight into my Nidoqueen, expecting him to either go for a high jump kick now, or maybe still go for a safe Drain Punch. I didn't think he'd go for a return just in case I decided to stay in with Mega Kang, but yeah, Nidoqueen overall very safe play, because my investment would allow me to survive any 2 hits from this Mega Lopunny from full health. So here I can go straight for a Poison Jab. If he's an offensive Latias, which is guaranteed going to be a switch in here on this turn, then he will be 2-hit KO'd by the Poison Jab, or even Poison Jab plus Sucker Punch. And if he is a defensive Latias, that's still good information to have later in the game, meaning it is probably more of a Calm Mind variant, and my Diancie will be very effective, I think, in terms of dealing with that with the combination of Toxic plus Moonblast. But here I'm going to make a scout play by going hard into my Tornadus T, knowing that there's no possible move he'll be able to kill me with. I believe even Specs hits I can take well with this bulky Torn spread, so that's kind of nice. I'm going to be able to fire off a free U-turn here as well. He couldn't afford to risk his Latias to a potential knockoff here on this turn, so he is going to switch out into the Staraptor, I guess expecting the Brave Bird, so good on him, or expecting the U-turn rather, good on him there, as I'm going to go straight into my Diancie on the Momentum, and now he's in a pickle because he doesn't have switches to Diancie. By getting rid of the Registeel early in the game, it removed his only true switch into this defensive Diancie, but Diancie is still putting in the utmost work here, as despite the fact that he doesn't really have any way to hit me with the Staraptor, I guess he could have had Steel Wing and that would have done about 50%, but his best option forward apparently was Combat. Diancie's just going to be able to knock it straight out and get the defense boost, +2 from the Diamond Storm, and this is big because this means he can't immediately check me with the Crocodile. I do have the Chocoberry, but it means he can't immediately check me with Crocodile and or Mega Lopunny. He's forced to go into his Latias here on this turn and fire off the most powerful move he has available, which is an offensively invested Energy Ball. It doesn't look to be boosted in any ways, but it is definitely offensively invested, and I will be able to take out the Latias from this range. But the fact of the matter is, unless he has Iron Tail on this Crocodile, due to the +2 in defense plus my Chocoberry, I survive an Adamant Earthquake from this range, which is crazy. Diancie is stupid fat, but we're going to be able to actually survive the knockoff, so I guess he expected me to try to preserve differential there on that turn, which is fair enough, but even if he went for the Earthquake, I would have been able to survive, so not a huge deal either way, in my opinion. But I'm going to be able to fire off a Moonblast, Diancie picking up its second kill, or I believe third kill now. Yep, third kill right now in this game, so Diancie's putting in a little bit of work. I doubted it a little bit, but my man Magick did come through here in this particular game. He's going to go for the Fake Out with a Mega Lopunny, and he gets a critical hit, which is actually kind of funny, because if he didn't get the crit, I would have been outside of range of an Adamant Drain Punch from a Mega Lop. I think it's already confirmed to be Jolly at this point, but I am going to switch out, not necessarily to preserve differential. I really switched out here just to ensure that the Mega Lopunny would be in range of 2 Poison Jabs from my Scolipede. That was the idea with this play. The Rocky Helmet would have ensured that. He missed a high jump kick, which does kind of suck for him, but in the grand scheme of things, I think the score would have been the same at a 5-0, because by sacking off the Mew here, I'm going to be able to go straight into my Scolipede, Poison Jab this thing, and it will die. I actually misplay on this last turn. I should have gone for Protect first, just in case he were to crit me with a return, but he didn't crit me, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But Scolipede's going to live. We're going to pop that Poison Jab, knock out the Mega Lopunny, and the Toronto Raptors are going to win this game 5-0 against the Norwich Skitty and the Donphanatic. So, solid game overall. Jack didn't have much time to prep here for this week, I'm going to be honest. We talked about it a little bit after the fact, and yeah, he said he really didn't have the time to put into the team for this week, which is fair enough. That happens to everyone. Going to see that might just happen in my NPL game here for this week as well. Spoilers, but... yeah, so I guess that about wraps this up. So we are 3-0 now, moving into week 4 of the D-League. And I'm not going to spoil the result of Aster's game, but my opponent next week is Aster J. And if he manages to win his week 3 game here, then it might just be an undefeated clash in week 4. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I'm kind of hoping that happens, because that would be pretty hype, you know? So yeah, really solid start here at 3-0. I believe the differential now is +11. So we are tied at... I don't know, I guess, at this point, technically, if I'm in first place. It depends on how Aster does in his matchup, but with the +5 win here, and with Aster and I being tied for differential going into this week, we should be at least tied for first place, unless he 6-0s his opponent, which is possible. Aster is good, but you know, I guess we'll see on that. But we are at least in the top 2 in the league here, moving into week 3, which is certainly nice. And maybe after a win against Aster in week 4, crossing my fingers, we might be able to be alone in first place. So we'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy. Again, make sure to check out Jack's channel. Really good guy, solid content creator as well. And I think we're done here. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all next week. Peace.